You're still being sought out, even if you think you're not. Even if time has passed, even if everything seems settled, there's someone walking to the same places where your steps used to stop, as if some part of you is still there. It's not a coincidence. This person keeps coming back to where you used to be, at the corner table, at the bakery on the back street, in front of the bookstore where you always stopped without a hurry. She goes, she sits, she waits, she pretends to be distracted, but her gaze is watching every entrance. Because she still wants you to come back. She still believes it can happen. That on any given day, without warning or announcement, you might walk by as if you no longer feel anything. But deep down, you do. It's as if she hasn't accepted it. As if her body is still programmed to reunite with you. As if she doesn't know how to live without that possibility. She looks at people, searching for traces of you. If someone wears an outfit similar to yours, she holds her breath. If she hears your voice in a memory, her body shivers. It's as if everything still calls for you. She never said it. She's never said it. But this silent wait screams, can you notice? Her presence in these places isn't random, it's an attempt. It's persistence. It's what's left when love no longer had space to happen. Maybe you think it's over, but it's not over. She's still there. Every day she can. Every day that longing wins over pride. Have you ever experienced something similar? Tell me in the comments or you're gone. But the hope isn't. And if one day you happen to return, it won't be by chance. It will be an answer. It will be the exact moment she's been waiting for. It will be the end of a wait that was never spoken, but was always perceptible. If this touched you, comment, I needed to hear this. You think no one misses you anymore. That everything left is left behind. But there's someone who hasn't accepted that. Not really. Not completely. Not in the way you might expect. This person keeps going to the places you used to be. Not out of habit. Not for convenience. But because deep down, something in her still believes you might come back. She doesn't talk about it. Doesn't post about it. Doesn't mention it to anyone. But she goes. She walks the same sidewalks, enters the same stores, orders the same coffee you used to order. It's not about the coffee. It's about the possibility. About that second of suspension where everything seems like it's going to happen again, but it doesn't. And still she keeps going back, not because she wants to torture herself, but because some part of her still lives there, on the same benches, at the same times, in the same scenarios. She knows it's irrational. She knows you might never show up again. But there's a hope that doesn't respect logic, a silent expectation that insists on staying alive. She enters and observes, pretends to check her phone, but her eyes scan the entire environment for any trace of you. The truth is she hasn't moved on, not in the way people say you should. She just silenced the name but didn't kill the presence. And no matter how much the world tells her to move on, she doesn't move on. She moves but doesn't go. She breathes but doesn't exhale. She survives but doesn't break free. Can you sense that? Maybe not, because everything about her seems normal. But it only seems that way. Inside she's in suspension, frozen in the time when you were still possible, when the memories still felt like promises rather than just recollections. And every time she returns to those places, it's as if she's telling the universe, I still believe, even if just a little, even if just for today. If this has ever happened to you, comment, I needed to hear this. This person searches for you without your knowing, without you seeing, without you deserving it perhaps, but she searches, because something in her still hopes to be found. She crosses the paths you once crossed, touches the objects you used to touch, returns at the same times, not to repeat the past, but to provoke chance, to create the opportunity for a meeting that doesn't need to be scheduled nor justified, just felt. Sometimes she almost gives up. She looks at the clock and thinks, it's not worth it. He won't be there. Nothing is going to happen. But still, she goes, maybe out of impulse, maybe out of desperation, maybe for something deeper that she can't even explain. Have you ever been through this? Tell me in the comments, because there are pains that don't scream. There are longings that don't send messages. There are desires that don't speak their names, but carry them in every gesture. And she, despite trying, couldn't forget you. It doesn't matter how much she denies it. It doesn't matter how much she pretends to be okay. She's not. She keeps coming back because she doesn't know how to do any differently, because it still hurts, because there are still unanswered questions, because she still dreams of an explanation that never came. She remembers everything, the sound of your voice, The way you moved your hands when talking about something that excited you. The way you looked when you didn't say anything. Those images haven't faded. They repeat and return, especially when she's there, in those places where presence has turned into absence. But the absence still pulses. If she sees someone from behind, resembling you, her heart races, her breath catches. For a second, she believes, even knowing it's unlikely, even knowing it's not you. But what if it is? What if today you happen to be nearby too? What if something pulls you back, even unintentionally? That question lives within her. That hope has never left. She knows she shouldn't, knows it seems fragile, silly, but can't help it. Do you notice what still exists there? It's not just longing. It's accumulated presence, it's energy that hasn't dissipated. It's an invisible bond that still moves, even in silence. What if you came back, even without knowing why, even just out of impulse? If you appeared there, where it all began, she wouldn't know what to say, but her eyes would speak for her, because you are still sought after, even though you left, even if you say you don't feel anymore, even if you think it was just another story. It wasn't, at least not for her, and she keeps coming back, she keeps waiting, not out of dependency, but because she feels that something still needs closure. Do you know that? Do you feel that echo too? Do you recognize yourself in those places when you pass by? Finish this sentence. Being forgotten by someone you haven't forgotten is, she doesn't want to pressure you, nor to win you back, nor to repeat what once was. She just wants to know if there's still some kind of you in the world, some trace, some memory, some movement. She still hopes, with a disorganized heart, with a mismatched sense of time, with her soul clogged with everything that wasn't said. And every step she takes in those places is not about the space. It's about what still vibrates, about what is still perceivable, even if unseen, even if unspoken, even if you don't come back. If this text resonates with you, write a word that defines you right now. Because she keeps going, even when no one understands, even when everything tells her to stop, she will. Because absence still speaks louder than reason, and because she knows that, on the day you appear, she will notice, in an instant, without a doubt, without effort. Because the body recognizes what the mind wants to forget, and when that day comes, time will falter for a second. You won't understand immediately. She won't either. There will be a strange, uncomfortable silence, but necessary, as if the entire world has pulled back just to watch, just to give space. You won't know what to say, but she will notice in the way you step, in the way you hold your breath when you see something unexpected, in the quick dart of your eyes trying to look away while your heart expands. She won't run to you, won't shout your name, won't ask for explanations, but she will stay. You will keep your feet planted on that ground where you've stood so many times alone, waiting exactly for this, the chance for you to show up and not have to say anything, and the world will seem smaller, less noisy, less cold. There will be something in the air, as if everything around was rehearsed just for this moment to happen, because that's what it was. It was here. It was now. And it doesn't matter how much time has passed. It doesn't matter how much you both have changed. It doesn't matter everything that was broken along the way. This present still has a body. You will feel the impact, because this person never stopped looking for you, and that shaped everything they became. You were the unspoken name in every silent prayer. You were the desire lurking behind every attempt to move on. You were the shadow dancing behind every smile they gave, even when they no longer wanted to smile. They waited for you in the details, in the empty bench of every square, in the forgotten cup of coffee, in the reflection of shop windows where they swore they saw you behind. They looked for you in other people, not because they wanted to replace you, but because they needed to survive. And every time they didn't find you, they carefully stored the emptiness, like someone collecting evidence that one day everything could happen again. Do you realize what that means? It means that for them, time was never an end. It was a pause. It was an attempt. It was resilience. And if you are reading this now, it's because maybe something in you hasn't resolved either. Maybe you also walk the same paths, with different excuses, a different rhythm, but with the same emptiness where they used to be. You don't need to confess. Neither do they. But the reunion, if it happens, will say everything you both tried to hide. It won't be about what was said. It will be about what remained, about what never stopped breathing. You will see in their eyes the same question as always. Why did it take so long? And you will want to answer. but your throat won't let you. Because there are things only time can answer. There are truths that only silence can uphold. But your silence reveals everything. It reveals the absence. It reveals the shock. It reveals the weight of the things that got stuck inside your chest. Because she is there, whole and wounded, with the same body, but with another soul. A soul that has carried you all this time, even without knowing if she would ever be able to put that name out into the world again. Do you realize? She is not waiting for what was. She doesn't want to relive the old scene. She is not seeking the same gestures. She is no longer the one you left behind, but she is still the one who felt. And you, even if you tried to hide from the absence, even if you looked for other faces, even if you built walls around your very own name, you feel. You feel what your body reveals, the sudden chill in your hands, the muffled sound of your heart, the wrong way of breathing, because reconnecting with someone who waited for you is nothing simple. It's not about resolving anything. It's not about going back. It's not about forgiving. It's about realizing that it wasn't for nothing, that the steps you both took even while apart bent toward the same point in time, to the same ground, to the same moment, and now you're both there, you and she, in the place where everything once began, in the place where so many times she was only absence trying to fill herself, and now you're there, present, real, tense. What do you do? She won't force you into anything. Never has. She's just been there. Been in the waits that no one saw. On the days you didn't come. In the times she thought about giving up but couldn't. Because something was calling you, even without certainty, even without an answer. She knew. She felt it in her skin, like someone who recognizes a call even without hearing it. And now you're there with every reason to leave, but with all the signs saying, stay just a little longer. Stay to hear what wasn't said. Stay to feel what is still here. Stay to realize that time didn't kill, it just shaped the space between what you both could never let go of. If this video made you think, the next one will turn you inside out. Go ahead. Because now, face to face, there are no more excuses, no more distractions, there's no hiding that the wait was real. And that you, even from afar, always knew that somewhere someone was looking for you, with the soul, with the body, with the same eyes that now gaze at you without asking for anything, but say everything. She no longer waits for you to say something. She only wants to know if you felt it, if upon seeing you again something in your chest broke. If the silence between you was the same one she carried for so long, if what you lived still breathes, even if nameless, even if in secret. Because she doesn't want a second chance. She wants the truth, wants full presence or complete closure, and you feel it, in your skin, in her gaze, in the weight of the reunion that wasn't planned, but was inevitable. Do you realize? She never asked you to come back, but you returned. And now at the exact moment your eyes meet hers, it becomes clear. It wasn't just her who was looking for you. You were also coming home. You just didn't know it yet. If you've made it this far, it's because something inside you is still pulsing, still recognizes, still waits. Maybe you won't say it out loud. Maybe you hide it in the hustle and bustle of daily life, in the distractions that keep you distant from yourself. But this story spoke to you because you've already felt that living absence. You've walked around with the sense that something is still watching you in silence. You know what I'm talking about. You know the body feels before the mind understands. You know there are gazes you've never forgotten, and places where it seems a part of you has been waiting for someone to return. That's why now. Share this video with someone who has been that place for you. Leave a like if something inside you just remembered someone. And subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next ones, because the next message will touch exactly what you haven't told anyone. Now answer me. Have you ever returned to a place hoping to find someone? Have you been the one who stayed, even when the other left? Have you pretended to have moved on but went back there, just to see if you still felt something? Write it in the comments. Tell me which part struck you, which phrase stopped time inside you, which moment made you realize that longing sometimes is a form of presence that refuses to fade away. And if this resonated with you, comment below. I needed to hear this, because you're not alone. And there are wounds that don't heal in silence. They need to be acknowledged. They need to be seen, they need to be felt. And if today this message found you, it's because perhaps the reunion that seemed impossible still breathes in some corner of time. And in the next video, we'll dive deeper. You saw the absence. Now you'll see what it hides. Click here and continue with me.